Turn and face the flag and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the United States.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May be seated. Roll call of council persons, please.
Lehman.
Here.
Podak.
Here.
Cassidy.
Here.
Baker.
Here.
Grine.
Here.
Mendoza.
Here.
Lake.
Here. I'll make a motion to excuse Brian Shaver.
Second.
Motion by Lake, second by Mendoza to excuse Brian Shaver. Call the roll, please.
Podak.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Cassidy.
Yes.
Grine.
Yes.
Mendoza.
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
Lake.
Yeah.
You're way up there. I can't. Sorry.
And Brian is excused. Need a motion to approve the minutes of previous meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mendoza, second by, is that Baker?
Mm-hmm.
Please call the roll.
Lehman.
Yes.
Podak.
Yes.
Cassidy.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Grine.
Yes.
Mendoza.
Yes.
Lake.
Yes. Minutes are approved. Any communications?
I have none.
Okay. Reports of committees. Finance Committee.
A finance committee met this evening at 5:30 p.m. and the finance director reviewed the August financial reports. They indicated that there was a total of $22.5 million in funds combined. Of that, there is 16.7 which remain unencumbered. And of that 16.7 million, 11.2 are unencumbered in the general fund. As far as revenue, that is running as expected or better in both the general fund and enterprise funds. He updated us that the banking RFP had returned 6 proposals. They'll be narrowing it down to 2 or 3, and his office will then make a final consideration. And he will be bringing the tax budget this evening. He asked that we suspend on the 3-reading rule. The committee discussed the first draft of a fund carryover balance policy. And from the public, we heard from Jill Filiator on the splash pad and Market Square, and Deb Tyson regarding water rates. The next meeting will be October 21st at 5:30 p.m. in council chambers.
Thank you. Public Affairs.
At our third quarterly combos with council, we discussed several key topics, including Safe Routes to School initiative and the Southtown Street grade separation proposal. Project details, including the roll plot and exhibits, are available on ODOT's website, along with a comment sheet that must be submitted by Friday, September 26th for consideration. We encourage you to review the information online and share your feedback within the given time frame. There are several upcoming events to look forward to in the next few weeks. The Fostoria Farmers and Artisans Market wraps up its season with the Seek Seneca County event sponsored by Destination Seneca County on Saturday, September 20th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. downtown. The Fostoria Church of the Nazarene will host a community food distribution on Saturday, September 20th from 10 a.m. to noon or until supplies run out at Fostoria School and is sponsored by Ohio Logistics and United Way. Participants must show a valid ID and up to 2 households are permitted per vehicle. The Fostoria Rail Preservation Society will host the annual Fostoria Rail Festival on Saturday, September 27th, starting at 10 a.m. at 128 West North Street, inviting rail fans to gather and celebrate the city's rich railroad heritage. The annual Rosary Rally hosted by America Needs Fatima will be held on the municipal lawn at the city building on Wednesday, October 1st from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. The Hobbs and Vines event hosted by In the Axe will run from 2 to 10 p.m. on Friday, October 3rd, featuring wine and beer tasting at In the Axe, along with food vendors on Main Street, which will be closed from Tiffin to South for the event. Lastly, the Fostoria Area Historical Society presents Silent Movie Night on Saturday, October 4th at 151 West Center Street, featuring Buster Keaton's Sherlock Jr. with live piano by Lynn Long. A spaghetti dinner begins at 5:30, followed by the film at 7. Tickets are 18 in advance and 20 at the door. Thank you. That is all.
Thank you. Law and Ordinance Committee.
The Law and Ordinance Committee met this evening with no new business. Our next meeting will be held on Tuesday, October 21st at 5:15 here in council chambers.
Thank you. Officers, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to thank the volunteers who helped with the inclusive playground last weekend. They made great progress, and the playground is essentially finished now. Next steps will be adding of the rubber base and the surface, and then putting up the fence. Also, I would ask that council take off the table the PFAS resolution and give it the third reading tonight so that we can move forward with that to get us established with the law firm. Thank you.
Yeah. Director of Public Finance not here. The Law Director, the Mayor will do a report.
The law director asked me to give her report tonight. Our public records portal is now live and linked on our city webpage. It was also announced on Facebook. We're still getting the hang of it, but it seems to be going very well so far. We have fulfilled a handful of requests already. The portal also provides a means for public users to search past requests to see if documents have been published for a request in the past. Record reports can still be made by email or contacting a city official, but the portal is the preferred means of moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Director of Finance.
As the chair of the Finance Committee mentioned, the tax budget, if that could be approved this evening, suspending the 3 reading rule. In terms of changes to our permanent appropriations, requesting to appropriate an additional $10,000 in the general fund for computer maintenance for the police department. Earlier this year, the county did a countywide server upgrade. That was our share of that. And so I did not have that budgeted, and it was charged to computer maintenance, so I'm short in that account, so we need to replenish that account. The $30,000 to appropriate in the city cleanup fund, those are refunds on foreclosed homes. So whenever a foreclosure takes place, the bonding company has to, or the foreclosure company has to provide a $10,000 bond. Once it comes out of foreclosure, we refund them $9,750. There's been a lot of cleanup in those areas, so we're running short. To be quite frank, the $30,000 is not going to be enough, so you're going to see another appropriation later on. It might be as early as next month. One thing we're doing differently there is working with the compliance officer is we're actually putting together a inventory of the bonds that we've collected so that we know just how much our liability really is so that we can more closely appropriate dollars in the future. So hopefully this will be the last year we have to come back on that. The $65,000 transfer in the sewer fund from lab testing to vehicles, the individuals in the sewer maintenance area identified a service vehicle that we really would like to begin to purchase. We told them we're okay with that, but you got to find dollars in your budget to pay for it. And they found it in the outside lab testing line item. Amy, I don't know I don't know why they're able to find $65,000 there, but I will get back to you on something did change and I just don't know what. And I think it has to do with possibly the infrared lamps we put in 2 years ago. So we built our budget based on prior year's experience. This year we're running significantly lower. I got to believe last year we were lower as well, but we budgeted to 2 years ago. I don't quote me on that, but I have a feeling that might be the issue of why the dollars were available there.
Yep.
So, and if we could suspend the 3 reading rule on that, it would be appreciated.
Thank you. Okay, members of the public, we have 4 people listed to speak. Mr. Bob Gase.
President, council members, and mayor, thank you for the time. I have to apologize, I only had 6.
I have mine right here.
Thank you.
On the first page is a resident in the Murfield subdivision, and this was his water bill, which I think is very, very good. Okay, there's no complaints there whatsoever. We're going to use that as a comparison. The next page is a resident on Tiffin Street. You'll notice the first one on Murfield had 3 units. The one on Tiffin Street, that bill was actually a total of $62.38.
We
The
don't
one
have
on
Tiffin
Tiffin Street,
Bob, we don't have a Tiffin Street.
oh, you missing that one?
We've got Muirfield, Columbus Avenue, and 2 Columbus Avenue.
All of you? Okay, well, on Tiffin Street, they had 4 units, and that was $71.33, which again is very good. The one that I'm concerned about is 1309 Columbus Avenue. It used 3 units, and the bill was $128.07. Okay, I'm trying. It's a kind of hard for me to understand that this is a residential building. These 2 here are residential buildings. If you compare the 2 from the one from Murfield and this one, this bill should be $62.39. Now, if you would go down to the water department and ask them what the deal is, they're going to say, well, you have 3 addresses in that building. They will tell you that they sell the water itself for the same price that they sell these 2 for, okay? But over here on this side, the tariffs are way, way higher because there's 3 addresses. We only get 1 bill. It comes to 1309 Columbus Avenue. We don't get 3 bills. They don't divide it up for us. What I'm trying to say is that the water does not cost any more to service the 1309 Columbus Avenue that it does these other 2. And the only reason that they keep on coming up and telling me is that that's because you have 3 addresses in there, and that's where the cutoff. If we had 4 addresses on there, it would be the same as the 3, but they have more people in a 4-unit building. But what I just don't understand. I want you to look at me and tell me that this is fair. It's not a commercial building. It's a residential building that people live in, okay? And I don't understand. If you even look at the sewer, we're only getting rid of 3 units, okay? The sewer is costing $22.64 a unit at the 1309 Columbus Avenue, and at the Murfield one, it is $10.59. I want someone to tell me that we can do something about this, because I run into a dead end every time that I talk to them, and they just say it's tough luck. That's the way it is.
So this is a triplex, is that
Yes.
correct?
It's in the Loudon Villas.
Okay.
Okay, and when I built those, okay, the last two buildings, I asked the city engineer, I said, can we put more than 1 meter in? He goes, no, this is the way we want it. Okay. And so that's the way we did it. And we can't say that the water lines, it costs more money to get it there because the water lines to that place was all put in by the developer. And it's the same way with Murfield. We was supposed to connect the water line from Loudon Villas over to Murfield, and the city came back and said, no, you can't do that without going all the way down 587 and connecting it so that we had good water pressure in case of a fire. So, I mean, that was an extra cost. And then after 5 years, I think we had the first 5 years, anybody that tapped into the water, we got the money for. But now, after the 5 years, then it went back just to the city. So we put all them lines in from Zeller Road. We also put in Pacific shutoffs. So if something happened at Loudon, Murfield would keep their water. And we have a shutoff at Zeller Road and at in between the two condo associations that if they would have a problem over there with the main, that we would still have water. So we did a lot of extra work to get it. And when I did that, then the city also came back and said, Bob, if you annex that, because at the time that them were built, you'll be able to get your water for the same price that everybody else does. If the city would have said we had an option of putting more meters in each one of them buildings, but they said, no, this is the way they wanted it. Because if you're familiar with the Oaks Condo Association out there, that's 1 meter for all of them. And they didn't want that. They wanted each in one building. So I'm just kind of at an all, and that's why I'm coming to you guys to see if you can look me in the face and say, Bob, too bad, live with it. I mean, I can walk out of here and live with it, but I still don't think it's fair. If it was a commercial building, that's basically what I'm getting charged on that building. That would be a commercial, but it's not. It's a residential building with people that live in it.
So your note here shows $128.07 total.
Yes, that's if you add that line up, that's what it comes out to.
Right. So that's essentially 3 households.
Yes.
Okay. So you divide that out, it's $42.
I understand that, but I'm not
So-
talking about
No,
if they're going to say to do that, then all 3 of them should get the bill. They should divide it out and give us and then give us the paperwork.
well, all I'm saying is that the Murfield one with 3 units is paying $62. So
Right.
he's paying $20 more for one less unit than you are for your units.
I'm not going by person. I'm going by the building. I'm going by the building. The water does not cost any more to get to that building than it does to Murfield or to the Tiffin Street address. Then the water department will tell you that they sell the water for the same price. But since we have 3 in there, the itemized listing over here are higher. All I'm saying is that if you go by the building and the address, that we should be at $62 instead of $128.
This is a result of the policies that the water department has been operating for years, and I understand Bob's concern with it, and we will look into it. But it has to do with unit charges.
Have
For
to do with minimum usage?
Sorry?
Does it have to do with minimum usage?
No.
And they're seeing that
No,
as
it has
3
to do,
units?
it has to do with units and the fact that there's only 1 meter for the multiple units. And personally, I agree with Bob. There should be 3 meters there should be a meter for each unit, which would be the fair way, because if you're living in 1 unit and you're single,
Mhm.
and you're living in, and your next door neighbor has four children and a washing machine and everything else, they're using a heck of a lot more water, and yet you're dividing it by 3. So, I understand his enigma with it, and we'll take a look at it.
Well, and the water department also said, well, we'll do that, but you got to get a meter and you got to retap it. We're talking about tearing up landscaping, blacktop. We're not talking about a $500 bill. We're talking close to $1,500 to $2,000 just to get it in, and then to repair the blacktop and the landscaping after that.
Yeah, time to do it would have been when it was built.
So, and it is set up that we could put another meter down in the crawl space where the main comes, but the water department doesn't want that meter in the crawl space. So
When they told you that they preferred to do it the way they did they go beyond that? In other words, they try and explain why they did it the way they did?
back
Versus-
now you gotta remember that was 26 years ago, 27 years ago. Okay. And when the condo associations at Oak Park and Oak Ridge were put in, them were 1 meters. Okay. That meter that they put in at Oak Park is a $10,000 meter. Okay. And then they have to have a pit there and they have to keep it dry so that people can get in there. Okay. So when they came out to Loudon with this, they said, we only want you to do 1 meter because we only want to send 1 bill to each building. Okay. And Dan Thornton was the engineer, great guy. He knew what he was doing at the time. And, it's just like us having to run that water line all the way down 587 at our expense. It was the best thing to do because it kept the good water pressure all the way through. But it's so, I understand that, but so because of the way we did it, I still feel that water bill should only be like the rest of the ones that use 3 units. I mean, you got to understand, we have actually only about 3 people most of the time in that building. One of us are always gone. Okay. One still works full time and the other one he's gone all the time. More than likely, we would probably, if everybody would stay home 7 days a week, we would probably use 5 or 6 units. But since everybody's always gone and doing something, we only been using 3. We've used 4 a couple times. I mean, if we go back and look at our history, it's been either 3 or 4 for the last 2 years. Okay. Thank you, and hopefully, Mayor, you can do something about this. I mean, I think it's only fair to the people that live in that building should pay what we're using, not paying extra, for no reason at all. And thank you for your time. And I want to thank you guys for the time.
I have a
you guys
thought
put in.
though. If for some reason it can be split into 3 and somebody doesn't use any water, they're going to have to pay the minimum.
I understand that.
Okay.
Like I said, but I don't want to spend an extra
Right.
thousands of dollars I can live with what we got. I'm just bringing up a fact. We're using 3 units. We should pay for the 3 units just like everybody else does. It's a residential building. It's not a commercial building. Again, thank you.
Okay, next person is Rebecca Ann Cook.
I never done this before. I just would like to read my speech real quick, and that's all. My name is Rebecca Cook, and I stand before you today to raise an issue of the utmost urgency, the widespread nonconformance of states to their constitutional obligations. This is not about changing the law, it's about enforcing the law exactly as it is written in the Constitution of the United States. Article 3 of our Constitution requires the Supreme Court to act when a state is named a party, yet clerks of courts are obstructing justice by refusing to docket cases, violating their oath of office, and depriving citizens of access to their very rights guaranteed to them. Today, more than 700,000 people across America are imprisoned under judgments that are unconstitutional. The Fifth Amendment is clear: no person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless upon indictment by a grand jury. Yet at least 13 states, including Washington, have abandoned this requirement, charging citizens by information rather than by an indictment. These are criminal acts that destroy lives and undermine the very foundation of justice in our nation. Our Constitution can only be changed by amendment through the will of the people, not by state statutes, judicial shortcuts, or administrative rules. Until this happens, every right secured by the Constitution must be upheld for every citizen in every state without exception. All right, guys. I call upon to open a public investigation into these unlawful acts and to ensure that all liberties are restored where they have been denied. Tyranny thrives when public servants excuse injustice as just following orders, but justice demands courage, the courage to stand for what is right even when it's difficult. As President Lincoln once said, it is safer for all to conform to the laws that stand unrepealed than to violate them in hope of impunity. We cannot allow public officials to act outside the supreme law of the land without accountability. I am here not only as an advocate, but as a servant of justice, inviting you to take action with me. Together, let us restore fairness, dignity, and constitutional order for every citizen of the nation. Thank you, commissioners, for your time.
Thank you. Next, Jill Filiator.
Good evening, Jill Filiator, 402 West Culbertson Street. I have a few items that I do wish to discuss in front of the council today. The first one being the airport. I just have a couple things that I have some concerns about for the airport. I know that when we listened to it as sitting in the council, it was needed to be a 3-reading waiver of an emergency nature. Nowhere in the council discussion were us as the citizens made aware that we went into an agreement for $1 a year for a lease. Now, had we known that, I would have expected somebody to say, well, maybe we need to do this 3-reading rule. What was the emergent need to get it done now? That's the question that I have the most concern about, because based on my conversations with different officials, they wanted to get things started. It was a startup group. But did we advertise that we were going to be doing it for $1 a lease? We might have also been able to get other people to put bids on this from the Toledo area, from the metropolitan area. So why did we go to the rush of emergent read, get it done, and not disclose to us, the citizens, what the intent was, the transparency? We are all talking here about being transparent. And I think that we were not given the information, the people of Fostoria, so that we could have understood. It was rushed through. Nobody was able to ask questions about it because we didn't know as the citizens. We read it in the newspaper that it was for $1. We find out from the newspaper that it was erroneously reported that it was a group out of Alaska, when that is not an accurate statement per the official I spoke with. So I'm sitting here going, we've got a group that when I went to look at it was actually a contractor group, a design company, but then I found out that that wasn't the reality, and that's good. That's good that I do understand. I understand the concept behind it. I understand the fact that, we'll get more planes out here, we'll get more gas monies being utilized, but what was the financial benefit, the immediate one that required us not to do a 3-reading rule? The other thing, as I spoke with earlier today, I do have some concerns with the splash pads completions. I do know that we have grant money being utilized, and I'm not 100% sure that it's going to roll over, because I think, and I could be wrong, that's me, I don't have I've looked it up. I know we had something that said we had to have it done or we would lose the money by December 31st, 2025. Now, if that's changed, that's wonderful. But if it hasn't, what guarantees are you guys able to give the citizens who donated $300 and some thousand for this project that it's going to make it to completion? Because if it doesn't make it to completion, what becomes of that funds that the citizens donated for a specific cause? Do they get refunded, or is it going to be used for something else that they did not donate towards? So that's another issue that I have. And finally, my last issue I have is Market Square. Market Square is being underutilized and has been for a few years now. The issue at hand is that it is not owned by the city of Fostoria. It is owned by the Community Improvement Corps, which per the records is a side arm of the FEDC. It's also owned by 3 other entities. So nobody owns all of it. So then when you try to utilize it and you're going through to get the applications, we're bouncing back and forth, and we're not able to get to use the space as easily as it should be. And that's sad. So I'm really hopeful that we can look at this, and if the intent was, and I was not here at the time that the group was made, that they did this, but the intent is that it was supposed to be for the betterment of the Fostoria community. Maybe we as council need to look at the fact that is there some way we can get it under one umbrella so that it can actually be utilized? Because right now it does not get its true benefit of use. It gets a lot of confusion because when I first moved here, I truly thought it was owned by the city of Fostoria, as do a lot of people in the community, because they don't understand that, no, it is a whole subgroup of individuals, and Fostoria has no ownership in it. And that's the part that makes it difficult, because we have a beautiful area that could be greatly utilized if it's allowed. Thank you.
I normally don't respond, and we're probably not supposed to,
That's probably correct, but you go ahead.
but the city really, council really doesn't have any authority in this matter. And maybe you can enlighten me.
Well, the only reason, and I'm not going to go into real discussion on it, but
I'm not either.
I know
We're being expected to be babysitters and get everybody over on that property to play nice.
Well, no, the issue at hand is that when I moved in here, we had to go through the city of Fostoria to put our applications to have it be utilized. So the city of Fostoria, with the then mayor, did have a part in it. There was a partnership going on. I will not go into details, and it did affect me. I legally rented an area there in 2022, and it resulted in some very ugliness on my behalf, which I'm not bringing to this table because it's done past. But it was done specifically, and the mayor of that time had a meeting, told me I had to meet with him and the FEDC and the chamber. So there was involvement with the city in that time frame. So I'm just asking you guys to look at it, because if truly the intent was that it was supposed to be something for the city, then we need to make sure that that was what the true intent was. Thank you.
Next up, Deb Tyson.
Yeah, I've got 2 things. First off, I don't know if anybody can explain, since Stephanie is not here, but this thing that the mayor was talking about, authorizing the director of law to enter into contract for the legal representation, that one there, to take it out of a 3rd reading and just pass it when there's not clarification, because my concern is this. It's been brought to our attention that, yes, we have safe drinking water coming from the water treatment plant, but are we contaminating our water treatment plant? Because that's the way I read this. Now, I can be wrong, but that's the way that reads. Then the other thing I have is this thing about the natural gas aggregation program. I'm just wondering who that is by, because I know we had an electric one, And, again, wanted to pass these without that type of information. This is going on YouTube and everybody's hearing this just because they're not in attendance. And those are my concerns. Thank you.
Anyone else in the public, please state your name and address and sign the paper and limit yourself to 3 minutes.
Hello, Rebecca Kimball, address on the paper. Y'all know my main thing that I'm up here today is, well, it's actually two things. One is no one ever came and cut that down all summer. Where I live on Cherry Street. However, I did see a city truck stop today and look at it and then just carry on. But my big concern here today is, okay, so a while back, and I don't think this is on the table anymore or whatever, I don't know, because I've missed too many meetings. But when they were talking about like the bike path, and I just want to say that would be a definite no, because my friend back here, she's partially blind. And she was walking down Union Street where you cross over on Culberson. A city truck was driving, and she had stopped at the crosswalk and then went to cross. He hadn't stopped yet. He done a rolling stop and almost hit her. She couldn't tell me who it was or anything because, like I said, she's partially blind. And my thing was like, holy crap, if we can't even keep the crosswalk safe, we sure in the heck don't need no bike ones. So I don't know what's going on, but I think people need to stop at the stop signs completely, follow the rules like the rest of us do, and keep us safe because she could have been creamed. She said she wished she would have tried to kick the truck because she was so upset, and I don't blame her. But I just wanted to bring that to your guys' attention. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Seeing none, we'll go on to old business. The first two ordinances are tabled.
I make a motion to take the second ordinance regarding the PFAS issues and advise the law director to proceed with that off the table.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Cassidy, second by Mendoza to untable the second ordinance is tabled. Call the roll.
Lehman,
Yes.
Podak,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes,
Baker,
Yes.
Grine,
Yes.
Mendoza, Lake.
Yeah, it is untabled. Please read.
Wait, did Mendoza did Mendoza second it?
It was Podak.
That's what I thought. Podak second.
Oh, gosh.
Move to adopt.
second.
Should she have to read it at first?
Well, we had it read the last time as the third one. And then we tabled it afterwards, but if we need to, then yeah.
Can we read it?
Yes.
An ordinance authorizing the Director of Law to enter into a contract for legal representation in order to seek funds for PFAS forever chemicals, water testing, and remediation for potentially contaminated water, in the city of Fostoria and declaring an emergency to exist.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Moved to adopt by Lehman, second by Cassidy. Clerk, call the roll.
Lehman,
Yes.
Podak,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes,
Baker,
Yes.
Grine,
Yes.
Mendoza, Lake.
Yes. That passed. That's ordinance number 2025-64.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement and/or Local Transportation Improvement programs to execute contracts as required and declaring an emergency to exist.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Moved by Cassidy. Who seconded that? Baker. Second by Baker. To adopt, call the roll.
Lehman,
Yes.
Kodak,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Grine,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Lake.
Yes. That is adopted. 2025-65.
An ordinance approving the City of Fostoria Plan of Operation and Governance for the implementation and administration of the city's municipal natural gas aggregation program and declaring an emergency.
That'll be the second reading of that.
We're going to go into new business.
Pardon?
We're in new business now. We're in new business now.
No, you have
Should be one other.
The rail park.
one more.
Oh,
No, we got more.
I'm out.
There's more old business.
I'm sorry.
Be a couple more there.
Well, I'll read them off of here. All right.
You have it?
No, I'm going to read it off the agenda. So are we on the fifth one or sixth?
The last one.
Thank you. Okay. Amending section 951.01 of chapter 951 of the codified ordinances of the city of Fostoria, Ohio, entitled Hours of Operation, adding a provision for overnight parking at the Fostoria Rail Park.
That'll be the second reading of that ordinance.
Now we're in new business. Correct.
See.
We're in new business.
Everybody in New business?
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
A resolution accepting the amounts as rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies, certifying them to the Seneca County Auditor and declaring an emergency to exist.
Move to suspend the 3 reading rule on 3 separate occasions.
Second.
Moved by Mendoza, second by Lehman. Call the roll, please.
Lehman,
Yes.
Kodak,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Grine,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Lake.
Yes. Three reading rule is suspended.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Moved to adopt by Cassidy, second by Baker. Call the roll, please.
Kodak,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Grine,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Lake,
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
Okay, that would be adopted. Number 60, 2025-66.
A resolution to approve a contract between the City of Fostoria, Ohio and the Board of the Fostoria City Schools relating to funding for 2 school resource officers and declaring an emergency to exist.
Be the first reading of that.
There was one item that was missed. Do you have another one there?
It would have been the first item under new business. Want to look at the agenda?
I must not have printed it. I'm sorry.
The one in there with tax levy.
Amending ordinance 2024-105.
Adopting and amending ordinance number 2024-105, permanent 2025 appropriations by appropriating from unappropriated funds in the general fund and city cleanup fund and transferring appropriations in the sewer fund and declaring an emergency to exist.
Move to suspend the 3 reading rule on 3 separate occasions.
Second.
Moved by Lehman, seconded by Cassidy to suspend the 3 reading rule. Call the roll.
Lake,
Yes.
Lehman,
Yes.
Podak,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Grine,
Yes.
Mendoza.
Yes.
That would be, is that a resolution or
It was ordinance.
ordinance? That'd be, 2025-67.
No, it was just
Well,
a
they
suspension of
suspended
3
it.
reading rule. I'll move to adopt.
Oh,
Move to adopt.
sorry. Gotta have a move to adopt by Cassidy, seconded by,
No, it was Lehman. It was Lehman, I believe.
I'll call the roll.
Lehman,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Podak,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Grine,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Lake.
Yes. Now it's 2025-67. Sorry about that. Any need for an executive session? Miscellaneous. Yeah, motion to adjourn then.
So moved.
Moved by Lehman, second by
Baker.
Baker. Call the roll.
Lehman,
Yes.
Podak,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Grine,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Lake.
We are adjourned at 6:52.